Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. We are in I guess it's almost wintertime officially, right? We're in that time of year. It's a little bit colder out, and when you're hungry for something, you want something hot and hearty. So I end up doing a lot of cooking. I'm a stay-at-home man, so my lovely lady just wants me to make her a meal. So that's why I do end up doing a lot of cooking. And as an all-around person, you know, I can rebuild a carburetor, I can drop a transmission, I can fix brakes, and I can cook food. So I believe strongly that everyone should be able to take care of themselves as far as basic things, and cooking is one of them. But today, like I said, since it is that cooler time of year, we are going to be making a stew, a beef stew. And one of my favorite ways of cooking here in this crock pot right here. Now this is lazy person cooking. I was gonna say lazy man, but you know, lazy person cooking. Because you throw everything in here and you hit high or low or whatever one you want, you know. You can throw everything in here in the morning, put it on low, come home, and your food will be cooked. So today we're gonna make a beef stew. Now, I'm usually pretty lazy. I just said lazy. I usually buy the stew meat, but today I bought a USDA choice beef bottom round. So I'm just gonna cut this up and make stew meat out of this. And primarily the reason why is because it is $4.99 a pound and the stew meat was $6.99 a pound. This is actually gonna be better than stew meat. It's gonna be a little bit more tender. But let me chop that up and we'll get started on this. I'll show you what all goes in here and show you how easy it is. Actually, the prep work that I'm going to do off camera is going to be the hardest part. So I'll show a little bit of it, I guess. But that's generally the hardest part about any of these sort of meals. Yeah, this old crock pot's been around. We've had this over 25 years. It's still making it happen. So if you don't have a crock pot, it's a good investment. I don't know, this thing probably cost us 20 bucks back in the day. All right, let's give you the in crock pot view there. So I got this meat all cut up. That's about 3 pounds of stew meat. Lots of meat in here. And I might have to actually get the bigger crock pot now that I see how much that fits in there. Hoo-wee. And I got a couple potatoes. That's like 3 or 4 small potatoes all diced up. Now let's put some onions. This is a half of an onion. And 3 carrots. Yeah, I don't know if it's all gonna fit, baby. Look at that. I decided to do an upgrade here. It was getting too full. I think maybe I overdid it on the meat, but I don't think you're ever gonna have anyone complaining about too much meat in your beef stew. So, all right, we're gonna put some green beans on top of that. Holy smokes, look at that. We're getting full. Can of crushed tomatoes. Now I'm going to do 2 cups of water. And 1/4 cup of Worcestershire. Who can say that? 1/4 cup of this goodness in here for flavor. And of course you can season this with whatever you like. I'm gonna use some salt and pepper and some of my own little secret seasonings. And a couple of leaves that I found off the tree there in there, or bay leaves, whatever you happen to have. Salt and pepper and 7 herbs and spices are in there. I found some green onions in the fridge. Oh, I also got some peas in the freezer. I might as well throw some of them in here because I've had them in the freezer for a while. A little bit extra veggies ain't gonna hurt anything. I'll add those, but we're gonna put the lid on it and you can cook it. Make sure you plug it in. It will never work without being plugged in. I found that out the hard way. I'm gonna cook it on high. Here, plugged in. We're gonna cook it on high for 4 hours. You can cook it on low for about 8. So let me add those peas, we'll plug it in, and through the magic of video, we'll be back here momentarily, hopefully to a deliciously cooked stew. It's been about 3.5 hours. I've been stirring this up a little bit. Now, it's not really got the stew consistency that I'd like, so what I am going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch. You could add cornstarch, you could add flour, you can add arrowroot powder. So what I like to do is mix a little bit of cornstarch with water. That way it prevents it from getting lumps. And then you just pour that in there. And you stir it up. And we'll see if that thickens it up a little bit. If it doesn't, I can always add a little bit more. I like my stew to be a little bit thicker. As it is right now, it's kind of almost like a really thick vegetable beef soup, which isn't bad, but so I'm going to let this cook a little bit, and then if I need to add a little bit more, I'll add a little bit more. You want to take a little bit at a time on this, because otherwise you might turn it into like a jello or something if you get too much in there. So we'll experiment with that a little bit. Stay hydrated, my friends. Look at that. Nice and hot. You can see it bubbling in there. And like I said, I added some cornstarch, give it a little bit thicker consistency. Now we got a nice stew consistency going there. My lovely lady's been waiting here for me to make her some dinner. So let's see what this looks like. Plate it up here. We're gonna do the flyover. This my buddy likes to do for his meals. Got all the veggies in there. Nice chunks of meat. And while y'all weren't looking, I made some corn muffins to go with this as well. So let's see how it goes down here. Get a little bit of meat. It's hot, so be careful. Watch yourself. You gotta blow on it a little bit. Even in the beard. That's a good stew. Vegetables are just a tiny bit crunchy still, but I kind of like them that way. We'll see if the missus does, but easy day. Gotta get that out of there. It's not good for the camera. Thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.